Hey guys, Kevin Bupp here, and in this video we're going to talk about the largest due diligence pitfalls you might face when purchasing your mobile home park. The first and largest one that I see most often is a new buyer not doing their due diligence on the infrastructure of the park, and that typically means the water and the sewer lines and the water and sewer systems. More commonly than not, it's going to relate to private water and sewer systems, and at the end of the day you've got sewer systems such as septics, you've got wastewater treatment plants, you've got lagoon systems. Each and every one of these, while we own each and every different type, I'll tell you that we do very deep due diligence there because there is a life expectancy. There's a real shelf life to each and every one of these things that I mentioned. They don't last forever. There's different components that go bad. There's sometimes entire failures with these systems, and it can be very, very costly to you in buying a mobile home park if you don't actually uncover them ahead of time. And so make sure that you hire the appropriate licensed contractors and engineers that specialize in doing that type of due diligence and inspections before you buy a mobile home park. Another one is water and sewer lines themselves. There are many different materials that these can be made out of. Different parts of the country where soil content, the acidity of it might deteriorate the lines differently than in others. So you have to get a plumber in there to do a sewer scope, to do a scope of what the water lines look like, the sewer lines look like, to understand the current condition, but also what the life expectancy is of those systems. So you can better budget for future capital improvements that community might need, but also you can also negotiate that here on the front end. If you find out that the community has failing infrastructure, you identify it before you purchase the community, try to negotiate that in your purchase price, and if not, no hard feelings. Maybe you don't buy that community. There's always another deal out there. Move on to the next one. Move on to one that's going to be less of a potential headache for you. Another big pitfall that I see buyers make when purchasing a mobile home park is actually not getting good financial records during the due diligence process. This is most common when you're buying from a mom and pop owner. If they got handwritten records, maybe they take a lot of cash, it doesn't ever make it to the bank. It's very hard to verify those records, and I've seen a lot of people be burned. So be very careful when obtaining your financial information. Verify, verify, verify. I can't say that enough. If you're getting a bank loan, they're going to require that you verify this. However, it's very common in our niche that a seller might finance their community for you, meaning that they're going to act as the bank. In that situation, you're going to want to make sure that that hard-earned cash that you're putting as a down payment isn't going to be lost very quickly because of a bunch of lies that were given to you by that seller. Another large pitfall that I see buyers make during the due diligence process is not understanding that local marketplace, but more importantly, not understanding whether or not it's a good market to actually be in. Just because there's a mobile home park there doesn't mean that there's necessarily a demand for affordable housing in that given marketplace. I'll give you an example. Flint, Michigan. Flint, Michigan probably has the lowest median home price in the country of places to live. The average home price in Flint, Michigan is about $28,000. I'd have to say that it's fairly affordable in the grand scheme of things, and that there's probably not a huge demand for affordable housing in the form of a mobile home in Flint, Michigan, because you could essentially purchase a stick-built home for the cost of a mobile home in most parts of the country. And so in my eyes, there's not a huge demand for affordable housing in Flint, Michigan. So you want to be careful of the market that you're buying and that you understand what the real demand drivers are, that there's a good solid employment base there, that there's going to be folks that truly not just want to live in your community, but they're good people that are going to live there. They're not just, you're not pulling from the bottom of the barrel. Okay, so really understand your marketplace, do your research there, talk to locals, hire a professional if you need to. Okay, there's folks out there that's all they do is demographic research. Make sure that you understand it going in so that you don't get burned after you buy. And the last thing here, as far as pitfalls are concerned during your due diligence phase, is getting a really firm understanding of the regulatory standards of that local municipality. And I'm going to give you an example here. We recently purchased a community in North Carolina. In that community, they had their own regulatory ordinances in place that pertain to mobile home parks. One of those ordinances stated that there was a restriction on the age of mobile homes that could be brought into our community. In that community, we had a number of vacant lots that we wanted to bring homes in on. We did understand this going into it, that there was going to be a restriction, that no homes older than 10 years of age could be brought in there. However, if you were purchasing that community and you didn't understand that ordinance and you thought that you were going to go buy really cheap, $3,000, 30-year-old mobile homes to bring in and fill those lots, well, you'd have had a shocking surprise, because a newer mobile home is probably going to run you about 5 times the amount of the $3,000 home, and it could have affected your overall pro forma if you didn't fully understand the regulatory ordinances of that local municipality. And so with that, guys, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it added a ton of value to you and your business. Like the video, subscribe to our channel, and until we meet again next time, you guys take care.